Well, both the tool does the same job. It's just the user interface is different. It will give you different kind of feel when you work on it.
I've usually observed that people who know Blender would be preferred more because it's a free tool. And
Compared to the Maya, because I have asked a lot of people who are starting with the 3D journey. Okay.
Yeah.
So for them, they think like Maya is the best, but of course it's too much expensive to even
Yeah.
get it at the very first place.
Majority of game companies are mid-scale to small scale, and in mid-scale studios like even like us, right, there is a lot that one person
And it really does make sense to use Blender right now, while you are getting so many of options inside Blender,
Yeah.
which you don't get inside Autodesk Maya, because those are very heavy as well, and those.
Hello and welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is Vaibhav again. We are starting a new property on this channel, Gaming Unfiltered. This videos or sessions that we are doing, majorly we are talking about a few topics which people don't really discuss about. There is a lot of gap. There is information that we think we can provide. So all these sessions that we'll be doing here on this property, the Gaming Unfiltered, it will be regarding these aspects. So we have a couple of things in mind. We have a lot of subjects that we can talk about, but to begin with, we will be starting with one of the most important and overly discussed topic, which is using Blender versus Maya while you are doing 3D art. So to talk about that, we have Hayum, who is the art director at Underdogs. So he'll be taking us through his experience and what he thinks about both the tools and who exactly uses what kind of tool. So over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Vaibhav, and definitely it's a very good opportunity to even describe what we had as insight for those amazing content. Okay, it's a big hype. If I look at today in the social media, I can always see that Maya versus Blender versus 3ds Max, people talk about, but no one has the exact information, exactly what's going on. I just want to give a quick brief of what exactly the 3D is all about, how it started. Okay, back in let's say 1960, there was a fellow. His name is William Vetter. Yeah. So he is basically the person who discovered the 3D graphics.
Okay.
And then he used to work in one company called Boeing in I think for China at the time. And then the whole idea about his innovations for the 3D is like he thought it is something very unique and amazing. Instead of the 2D stuff, we are much more able to grasp better information for the 3D. So that's what it is all about.
This is back in 1960.
In 1960, yes.
Wow.
Yes. So if we look at definitely for VFX, video games, 3D animations, movies, let's say for many kind of metaverse like industry, automobiles, manufacturings, architectures, not the least. So these are a kind of industry like people are really looking at it. And if I have to look at those 3D tools, and they mostly prefer. Okay, I would say like Modo, Mari, Cinema 4D, and let's say definitely Autodesk 3ds Max, Maya and Blender as well. Okay, and GBrush as well. And for the mostly for the industrial stuff, they are using CATIA and then Hypermesh. Those are only for those manufacturing stuff. So this is the few of the background and 3D stuff that people should know exactly what's going on.
So what do you think, Ayum? Let's just directly jump into the gaming side of it. What are the kind of tools that an artist uses when he's in gaming? That's number one. And second is it necessary to start with all the tools while you're beginning, or is it like a phases kind of a thing, like you first pick up a very simple tool and then you go to the more complex tools? How does this work in gaming? I'm talking about.
Okay. If we have to talk about the gaming, how it works is like, and definitely you should start with the ideation process, right? Once you are done with the ideation process, you should directly jump into some sketches and you lock it. Your idea is locked, now you know what to do. So you take those sketches and go to, I would prefer firstly go like going with Blender because it's the free tool first of all.
Okay.
And then it really benefits for the students and the hobbies as well as the persons who are thinking to jump into the 3D industry.
Yeah, another important aspect of using Blender is because if you're an artist and if you're looking for a job, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have usually observed that people who know Blender would be preferred more because it's a free tool, and most of the companies prefer to use free tools as well, right? So if I'm if I'm hiring an artist who knows Blender also, I think it's a plus point for him because then I can quickly take him in, let him work on Blender, give the same kind of output that he can still do it in Maya, right?
So basically the Blender has lots of like potentials. If you ask me, we can do from modeling till compositing till camera tracking as well. You have all those aspects for the Blender, and I think that should be the tool
to
start with as an artist.
And when do you actually get into the complex detailing of the models, and do you shift to a different tool when you have to detail it out?
Since we're talking about gaming, so definitely we'll have to jump to other tools, which is very important. So let's say we have some complex geometry. Before it, we need to create some basic shapes. Mm-hmm. So we model those out in the Blender. Then we take and like push it to the ZBrush or maybe.
So basically the white boxing or the gray boxing, just the structures of it is usually done in Blender. Yeah. Because it's easier, it's faster.
Everybody has different workflow.
Okay.
But the one I really prefer is going with the white box. Let's say, once I'm satisfied with it, I directly push it to the ZBrush and do the advanced details. Mm-hmm. And from there we can bring it back to Blender and redo the rest of the.
So you use Blender to first set it up in a white box or a gray box model, like just the shapes of it.
Yes.
Then you take it to ZBrush, detail it out, sculpt it out.
Yes.
When you're done with that, you bring it back to Blender.
Yes.
Okay.
And when you get back to Blender, we can just adjust those parameters based on the platform. Okay. Is it mobile or is it PC or web or maybe PS or maybe Xbox?
Okay. Okay. And people can still do the same thing using Maya. Like the thing that you mentioned, you start with the white box or gray box in Maya, and then you detail it out in ZBrush and then bring it back. But what do you think is more complex when you actually work on that tool? Is Blender complex to work with, or is Maya complex? Which one is?
Well, both the tool does the same job. Mm-hmm. It's just the user interface is different. It will give you different kind of feel when you work on it. Okay, I can give a very good example. The large, let's say, scale of people, they are mostly focused on Autodesk Maya because it is widely used.
Yeah.
And they have those subscription based. They like to take it for the. So now what happens? Okay, so a small group of people, they are mostly into the Blender because it's free definitely, and they also have this community. So when same kind of outputs are achieved through Maya as well. I mean, but then the complexity begins here when we push it for the texturing. So I don't see any problem like using any of the tool.
Okay.
It's just like personal choices.
Yeah, but you're saying that the UI or the user interface that Blender provides is a bit complex than what you have with Maya.
Yes, I think you are right. The learning curve for Blender is pretty much complex, like let's say.
Okay.
Compared to the Maya, because I have asked a lot of people who are starting with the 3D journey. Okay.
Yeah.
So for them, they think like Maya is the best, but of course it's too much expensive to even get at the very first place. But that's why it is the Blender for sure.
Yeah.
And that's why you find people they are posting lots of videos and reels in the many social media factors. because it is free and it is like a generalist tool. You can do everything over there, from modeling till lighting and post and export it.
Yeah. Also, in terms of user interface, I think you are referring to this thing, right? Like if you can have all the shortcuts. I mean, Blender also has those shortcuts, but
Yes.
Maya has a lot more, shortcuts and things that you can quickly do. The same thing, you will just need 2 more steps to be done in Blender. That's the only complexity that I've also seen when the artists work.
I think it depends on the person used to it.
Yeah.
Why it is? Because see, there are certain tools in Maya. Those are very easy to click and go on.
Yeah.
And those set of actions are very difficult in Blender. Same goes vice versa. If I have to simply model out small characters, so it's best in it's best for me at least. It's best in Maya. If I have to create some structures, like let's say some kind of architecture structure, then I go back to Blender because they have those snapping tools, they have those measurement tools, are very accurate. We can convert those into meters, feet or something. But in Maya, it's always the centimeters. So both the tools are good by side.
Got it. And do you also, can talk about the, let's say, the cons of using,
Yeah, both the tool has benefits and disadvantages. So let's, if you ask me, then I would about the cons. Okay, let's go with the cons first. That's what people want to know. Okay, for the Blender, the cons is that the community base is very very strong, but the developer support are very weak. Tomorrow, if I have some issue with my Blender file, then I reach out to the developers. The results are very much delayed.
Got it.
It might take a lot of maybe, I don't know, days or something.
Yeah.
But for Autodesk Maya, it's very easy. One click, they will reply you in like 24 hours.
Got it.
So that is the con which we have so far. And then about the very huge scale, the file size. Okay, like let's say I have something in the Blender file and it's very heavy.
Yeah.
The same stuff, if I have to do inside Maya, then I don't get those errors.
Got it.
Maybe because it's I'm paying for the Maya, I don't know. But if you ask me, then both the things has different cons. But I personally find that Blender has the most of the cons.
Got it. What do you suggest to anybody who is starting up in the industry, who wants to become an artist? What is he supposed to do at the very beginning?
At the very beginning, definitely he should be a concept artist at first. Why it is? Because even to make something, you will need to have concept. So once you are thorough with the concept artist, then you should jump into the 3D and use the Blender tool. I would suggest.
Okay, so start with the Blender first.
Yes,
and
yes.
and I think it's one of the things that I have observed, that because Blender is a bit complex, whatever tool you use after Blender, it will be very easier for you to use that tool because you've already gone through a complex system, and rest everything is quite easier to transition to.
Yes.
So you're saying that to start with, you start using a Blender thing, and then do you recommend people to stick to Blender or also learn the other tools that are probably might not be useful for them in their respective journey, but for the understanding of it, do you think they should try that?
Definitely, they will have to be very versatile. Why it is? Because the kind of the project they might have in the future, upcoming projects, those might vary. Okay.
Yeah.
There are a couple of projects they might have most of the characters built, or maybe there are a couple of projects they might have most of the environment built. Okay, so I think that they will have to even learn the other tools as well.
Got it. And I think one of the reasons, this could also be one of the reasons that in India, if you're a 3D artist, you have to be like a generalist, where you can do a lot more things, because in India, if you consider gaming industry, majority of game companies are mid-scale to small scale, And in mid-scale studios like even like us, right, there is a lot that one person does. He's not just stuck to one particular kind of thing, but with every person does like 3 to 4 tasks which are completely different, and not just in one particular domain. So I think that's also one of the things that you should acquire those skills so that you can fit in really well. Because in the West, if you go, there are specializations. It's like it's easier for you to just stick to one particular thing and then grow. But for India, you need to be knowing everything.
Yes, and if you ask me, and if you have to be a generalist, Blender is the best go, because it will offer you a lot of features. So in terms of fluid simulations as well as FX, also Blender does the good job than Autodesk Maya.
Yeah, also, and you were talking about this community thing. Again, right, today we are also talking about using Blender mostly. If a lot more people start using it, there will be a lot more help also coming, right? And the community might also grow to a level where it would be easier to tackle each other's problems then also. So yeah, that's an interesting point. What do you see the future of, I'll talk about Blender specifically because I know Maya Autodesk is always going to be, winning the race when it comes to being the best tool out, right? Because they have multiple tools under them, right? So they do a lot of cross-functional things. But how do you see Blender growing worldwide?
Worldwide, if I look at the metrics, the youth are the ones they are using the Blender the most, because definitely the youth it's a free, so they are the first target, let's say the audience, let's say. So once these generations are used to Blender, definitely they will be very much comfortable with that particular tool. Okay, so I think that it will add a lot of value in the future. And since Blender is offering a lot of features and a lot of so many stuff, so I think that somehow it's going to replace the other tools. I won't say replace, but like it might
alternative.
even alternative.
It would be an good alternative for anybody to.
Yes, and it really does make sense to use Blender right now, while you are getting so many of options inside Blender, which you don't get inside Autodesk Maya, because those are very heavy as well, and those are expensive in terms of GPU and CPU. So we should even consider those those points as well, because if you look at the some geometry, and you will find those statistics. It says like the average candidate for India, they are using those regular CPUs and GPUs. And for those kind of configurations, the Blender will really go well.
Understood. You've been working on MUKTI and the art assets of MUKTI now. So if you guys don't know yet, we are building a game called MUKTI. It's a first-person story exploration game. Hive majorly takes care of the art side of it, in terms of modeling and the visualization of it. While you're doing that, it's been like 5-6 months that we are in this journey now. Any particular challenge that you, we know it, there are every day there is a new challenge, but any specific challenge that you want to talk about while you're doing a 3D 3D work for the game?
Yeah, the challenges which we had was very different. We were following the traditional methods, so it was basically a small asset. It's a pillar. It's just a pillar. It's, let's say, more Romanesque, or let's say like a Gothic style. We just thought of giving a shot, just to check the output, how it became. So we followed our traditional method, and then we send it back to our desired engine called Unreal. Then we find a lot of errors, which was not up to the mark. Then we thought, what is lacking? What we are trying that we are not able to figure it out. Then we realized that there are lots of features inside Unreal that we are not even using it. We knew about it before, but we thought, let's stick to the traditional method.
Yeah.
And then we figure out, based on many studies, lot of tests, like 5, 6, 7 round of tests. Then at last we figured it out. It was not very major, but a thing that I had kept in mind.
Got it. So yeah, I mean, we've spoken a lot about Maya versus Blender. What conclusion would you draw on this discussion?
I would say that it depends on user to user. I would personally say that if you are just new and then you are not sure about getting in the 3D environment, go with the Blender. But if you are already just started the career, then you should even look at Autodesk Maya, because it offers a lot of different aspects which will definitely be helpful for you in the future. Why it is? Because many of the organizations, company, they are using Autodesk Maya.
Yeah. So to sum it up, both the tools are great, but both tools have different roles to play in different stages of your journey. So that's something that we would just wanted to put it out through these sessions. We'll be doing more of these sessions on different topics. If you want to know more on any of the topics that we can talk about with our experience and solve it out, just put your queries in the comment section, and we'll do a video on that, particularly like a proper video explaining that particular topic to you. Because now we are building a game, and we've been building games for like 13 years. But this is something new, something great. We are building a game for PlayStation 5 and PC and the other consoles also later on. But if you haven't checked the details on the game yet, just go check out the links in the description that I've added here. And do follow this channel. If you're watching this video for the first time, watching this channel for the first time, do subscribe to the channel. And if you like this video, just leave a like and a good comment below. And we'll see you in the next video. We'll have more people joining us from different backgrounds within the company. So let's talk about the problems and solve them right here on this session. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.
Bye.